My favourite thing about being a writer is the freedom, really, both the freedom in life to stay at home all day and watch daytime quizzes, which is lovely. But actually, it's when you get it working, and I've got it working, I think of things and they happen. I actually write things and they appear on screen, and that's the greatest delight, and I will never stop loving that. I think, I don't know what the hallmark is, otherwise I'd keep writing it all the time. But when I was very young, I wrote an episode of a thing, I created a series called The Grand for ITV, which is kind of like Downton Abbey, upstairs, downstairs thing. And I did a scene, it's hard to describe in summary because it was actually so shocking, which was a maid in the hotel who'd been terribly abused and had then murdered her abuser, was trying to get out to the building. In the background and in the foreground, there were three drunk maids having some of the funniest dialogue I've ever written. And it was and the producer of that, Tony Wood, said to me, and I was young, and he said to me, only you would write that. Only you would write those two things happening at the same time. And you hang on to those things that people say to you. If someone points out something in your script, if someone you trust says something, you kind of hang on to it. And I've kind of never been afraid of doing that ever since. So maybe what I'm saying is a contrast, a clash, the happy and the sad and the funny and the brutal all happening at once, because that's what life does. It's hard to think of a favourite scene, really, because I'm proud of so many things I've done. I've also forgotten a lot of things I've done. There's a very great moment in episode 4 of Bob and Rose, in which Penelope Wilton leads a gay campaign into a riot. And she's been a very peacekeeping, polite person, as well as being one of the greatest actors on earth. How lucky was I? And but on stage, she realizes she's got various things in life wrong, and so she turns it into a riot. And it's a good script. It's a magical performance. It's a great director. It's Joe Wright, who went to direct Atonement, stuff like that. It was a fantastic day's filming where everything just clicked. And actually, it was the last thing of mine that my mother saw before she died in 2001. What is it? And it's about a mother turning gay rights into a campaign. So it just means an awful lot to me, that. But it is a good script. Never mind sentiment. It's a great moment. Oh, I think sci-fi is good at interrogating contemporary issues because that's what it's for. I think it's kind of hard to think of something that doesn't. Back in the 60s, they were making the Planet of the Apes films, which were enormously exciting. And Charlton Heston was shirtless on a horse being chased by monkeys. But actually, that's a nuclear paranoia thriller. It's a Cold War terror. It's fear of the nuclear bomb coming out. And everything, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, that's identity in the city, that's everything, it's being human. I don't think you can name a piece of science fiction that doesn't relate to something, even if it's alien and simply being afraid of the dark. And actually, there's a lot more in Alien going on. There's corporate greed. There's the corporations sacrificing the workers for the sake of something interesting, which they do right now. So actually, it's just an exaggerated form of writing about today. How do I approach plotting something or planning it? I just think about it a lot, all the time. And that's the curse of the job, even though I'm very lucky, because that's all day, every day. And that's Christmas Day. And Nicola Schindler, my producer, is married to a writer, and she said writers never have holidays, because it's just going on all the time. So I think about it a lot. And I mean, there are things I've been thinking about for 10 or 20 years. I wrote It's a Sin, having thought about that for about 30 years. I'm probably about to write something next year, maybe, that I've been thinking about for 10 years. So an awful lot of things. I think I'll die before I get to write everything I've ever thought of. So in essence, that's what I do. I'm always thinking about it. When it's then commissioned and it's real, and so suddenly it's not just a pastime, then again, I just think about it. I'm very lucky in my career, somehow all my career, I've got away with not handing in treatments and breakdowns and things like that, because I think that kills it dead, although I would say to new writers, yes, you have to do it, so get on with it and learn to do it. I've just been very lucky. What I tend to do is sit in rooms with them. Listen to me, I can talk. And so I'll sit in a room with the commissioner and say, this happens, that happens, that happens, that happens. And I quite like the fact I don't know exactly how it happens, because that's what I'm paid for. That's what I'll go work out. And often I do know what happens. Actually, I always know what happens, actually. I will have thought about it for so long. And my instincts are good, and I trust my instincts. And I've learned when to trust my instincts and when to question something. So it's just all the time. What am I talking about? All the time. That's how you do it. You think about it constantly. I think if you want to write the most compelling script, the most compelling thing to bring to a script is you. There's no answers out there. There's no magic that'll appear on a BBC website. There's no magic words I can give you. It's you. You've got to bring yourself. But let me tell you one thing to make a better script. And this is going to be my campaign. I'm so furious about this. It's the word beat. Brackets, beat, close brackets. Will everyone stop using the word beat? It's a load of rubbish. No director follows it. No script needs it, ever. I know sometimes it'll be used to say a change of direction. Like, oh, you look good, where can I park my car? So people type, oh, you look good, beat, where can I park my car? Wasn't it more interesting the way I said it first? Where there was no beat? That's how people talk. Oh, you look nice, where can I park my car? That's how people talk. I think writers put it into scripts out of fear. It's fear, and also sometimes it's a bit condescending, saying, I'm changing the subject slightly now, so please follow me. Please follow what's going on. Don't treat me like I'm stupid when I'm reading a script. I never have seen a beat that's worth putting the word beat in. And the most important thing is let your dialogue flow. Someone said to me recently, a really wise thing. They said, no one ever skips the dialogue in a novel. That's true, isn't it? A big block of text. Oh, I'm slightly bored. Dialogue, bang, bang, bang. Solzhenitsyn, no, don't go on like that. You let them talk. And when you get to the dialogue, you love it. And it's the same on the page. It's for actors, for writers, for readers, for directors. Everyone loves the dialogue. Stop interrupting. Not just with the word beat, but you'll get it interrupted. I read a script yesterday that someone said something, and then with a stage director saying, he smiled softly. I don't need to know that. It's like, shut up. Let it flow. Really important stage directions, like he picks up a gun. Fine. But otherwise, the more you can let your dialogue run, the better it is. And stop, even experienced writers, the most experienced writers in the land, stop using that word. It's rubbish. Beat, I think. Has my approach to writing changed? I think when I very first started out, when I first started getting commissions, especially when I worked on the soaps, I used to do a long hand-written A4 page. I used to try and get the entire thing on one page of A4 in tiny writing. I wonder if I've still got those, just so I could have a document in front of me. Even with dialogue, tiny, tiny writing, and with arrows, shifting things around like that. And over the years, I simply just learned to lose that. So that's one thing that's changed. I mean, that is all still there, but it's in my head. I don't do those cards that write and postage that people put on walls. I can't be bothered. It's like, but I do think it's all in my head. And I think I'm lucky to have a head that does that. And if those systems work at writing it down, using the cards, absolutely use that. And maybe I've just done it for so long that they're now there. But so in essence, it's just simplified. It used to be that I now think all the procedures I went through were just prevarication and delaying. I should just get on with it. It's in there somewhere. Top 3 writing tips, I would say, okay, scrunch your stage directions down as much as you can. I very rarely do a stage direction longer than 4 lines. Or if it is 8 lines, split it into 2 paragraphs of 4. Your eye would rather read that. It's nicer on the eye to do that. But really, honestly, like everyone, when you turn the page and the stage directions, like filling the whole page, you die. No one likes to read that. So find ways of breaking that up. Really, really, really kill the use of adverbs, because they're just somehow they're just dull. They slow something down. What's the better sentence? Like, he runs across the room quickly, or he runs across the room fast. That one, the fast one. It's better. Quickly. Oh, I do this quickly. Quickly. That's a school team. Do this quickly. It's like, it's a really polite word, and scripts are more dynamic than that. And I do think the script on the page should look like the action you want it to convey. And the word fast is literally faster than the word quickly. And that's true of, obviously, sometimes you want to say gently. But rarely, there's another one. I think they really, honestly, like that script I read yesterday, it said he smiles softly. No actor's going to do that. He smiles. That's what you mean. And the actor will give you a big smile or a small smile. If the scene is working, they'll give you the right smile. No one's going to say, oh, you must smile softly. No director ever will sit there going, sorry, it says smile softly, not largely, or whatever you're doing there. Cut the adverbs down. Cut them down. And for the sake of your own life, try to give characters who don't all start with the same initial, because the software offers you that initial. If you've got a Claire and a Catherine and a Clive, you type C and you'll always, somewhere in that script, you'll have the wrong name or the wrong speech. So really, really try not to do that. Early on in my career, I was given a fundamental piece of advice by it wasn't advice, it was just a friend talking about my scripts. And I did a show called The Grand for ITV. It was my first 9 o'clock drama, and so it was very serious. Oh my God, it was for murder, death, and suicide. It was, and I wrote it very darkly in an advert because I thought 9 o'clock meant serious, and it was very serious, and it kept going down in the ratings like that. And a friend of mine, Sally Watson, was just talking about it. She said, I like it. Yeah, she said, it's good. But she said, it's like, and she looked at me, she just went, you're a laugh. Why don't you write it like a laugh? And that was a huge piece of advice that for now, almost 40 years, I've remembered, that just kind of said to me, and it kind of exploded in my head. Slowly, it takes a while for advice to filter through, actually, but that was someone saying, just be yourself, just trust your own voice. And actually, and life isn't all misery, and drama isn't all misery. Drama doesn't mean conflict all the time. Drama can be fun and lively. And it swung the show around, and actually the show started to climb up in the ratings again before they axed it. But I've taken that to heart ever since. It's those little throwaway comments. You can sit there with script editors and producers and executive producers from abroad, and they can all sit at tables and face you. But probably that thing your friend says to you is going to be really useful, unless they say you're really brilliant. That's no help at all. What do I find hard about writing? Everything. Every script is bad. The weird thing is you kind of learn nothing, because every script is different. So whatever you learn writing that show, or whatever you learn, every time you learn a lesson, you sit there with the next script. Even after the next script's been made, you sit there going, oh, I didn't learn that lesson again. It's nuts. I'm going through something at the moment where I sit there going, when I'm writing, I hate people saying, hello, sis, hello, bro, hello, cuz, or hello, I'm the electrician. Or, I hate that giving away the plot in dialogue. But then I sit in the edit watching my stuff going, oh, I wish he said he was an electrician. Oh, how do I know that's his brother? Why don't I say so? So I never win that one. It's a constant battle of I'm right on the page, I'm wrong on the screen. And I'll just go do the same mistakes all over again. But you mean on a bigger level of wrestling with all the ideas and stuff like that. I don't think it should never be easy, really. I'm thinking about something now for next year, and I just kind of potter about my kitchen. Oh, I can't do that, I can't do that. I sit there going, do you know what takes a long time? Believing it. I sit there going, oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe that happens. That's weird. Once you've written it, you kind of go, of course that happened. Yes, those characters did exactly what they do in those circumstances, but before it's happened, I think sometimes this is what writer's block is sometimes. Writer's block is all sorts of fears, but sometimes I think it's believing it. What, she divorces him? Really? Does that really happen? What, they kill the man? What, really? Do they do that? I think it's famously why people say Doctor Who is very hard to write, because nothing's real in Doctor Who. And I think the writers spend a lot of time saying, really? A spaceship flies overhead? Really? And there's a rope? Really? So that's a big part of the process, I think, that, I don't know, I've never seen anyone talk about that before. Maybe that's just me, or maybe it's everyone, and I'm letting you in on a secret, but just believing it. They really do that? Really? Go through it, write it. You just got to sit down and write it. And then, yeah, of course they did. I think the answers are there. But that belief in something. What, it's a thriller? Really? Who's in a thriller? Why am I writing a thriller? What? Yeah, that never gets easier. You can write dramas based on real events. I did A Very English Scandal, which is about the Thorpe scandal. Jeremy Thorpe, who in 1976 was taken to court for allegedly arranging for his young male lover to be shot. I'll tell you what the thing about the real events is, as a writer, don't worry too much, because once there's a script, 1,000 lawyers will appear and go over every single detail with you. So I get asked this a lot, actually. People worry that, oh, I might go on screen and be sued for libel. It's like, don't worry. There's plenty of people ready to rugby tackle you. They don't take the news enough. They don't take current affairs enough. But trust me, people in drama behave more responsibly than anyone else in the whole of broadcasting. And we've all seen scandals and problems with the BBC, for example. Always the news department, always the current affairs department. Drama is filleted rigorously, too much so you could argue, but don't you worry about that. The lawyers will dissent. And as long as you've got the evidence, and as long as you've got the, not just the evidence, you don't just have facts on your side, as long as you have an emotional truth to it that no one can deny, then you'll win through. I wrote things in The Very English Scandal of which there were no record, of which there's no example of Jeremy Thorpe ever having done something. But I absolutely know that that's what a gay man in 1976 would have done and would have felt. And no one could argue me down. And actually, no one did try to argue me down. I've got to say, it was unassailably true what I wrote there. And I just felt that. There were no facts. I didn't get that from a book. It was absolutely invented, but it was true. And so don't fear it too much. Obviously, don't libel someone or make up scandal. I mean, then you're going to get in trouble. But then you'll be stopped. Don't worry, you will be stopped from doing that. You'll never be sued for it. But in terms of the imagination, it's don't be afraid to imagine events. Someone told me once that someone said a moment's imagination is worth a lifetime's experience, and I love that. I cling to that. You can see me clinging to that when I write absolute nonsense. I've just made up. But there is something to do that. It's like if you're writing real events, if you're writing a real person, you're not just there as a documentary to report the events. You're there to imagine how it felt, and that's what will bring it alive. And if you do that honestly and truly and sincerely, then it'll work. A favourite time and place? Well, I've just got my office where I've lived in Manchester for many years. I'm still sitting at the same desk in the same chair where I wrote Queer as Folk in 1998. I was doing a Zoom yesterday because I wrote it here. And I haven't moved from that place. And actually, I don't have a laptop. I don't work on the train. I don't do that stuff that I see other writers doing because it's enough that it's always going on in your head. And also, when someone sits there typing something on the train, I don't believe that's any good. It's like, go home and concentrate. Do some real work. I don't believe that. I bet that's rubbish what they just typed. So, no, I just do it on the big computer at home. But I'm very old now. There's all kids typing on their phone now. But, yeah. And time, probably not in the mornings, just from 2 o'clock onwards, and then I'll stay there till 2 in the morning. But I'd have to be very up against the deadline to start at like 8 or 9 or 10.